हाय गुड इवनिंग टू ऑल ऑफ यू। जय हिंद। आप सभी का स्वागत है। उम्मीद है आप लोग खुश होंगे, प्रसन्न होंगे, स्वस्थ होंगे। क्षमा कीजिएगा, थोड़ा सा समय हो गया बिकॉज ऑफ सम टेक्निकल फॉल्ट आई कुड नॉट कम लाइव ऑन द डेजिग्नेटेड टाइम स्लॉट। आप लोग तक आवाज आ रही है? आ रही है तो एक बार हाँ कर दें। चलिए, so it's good to have you back here on Mad Over Maps channel and I really missed you all. I'm still regaining those of my past energies and I think in some time I'll be having it all. I just welcome you to this session and I will not take much of your time, but a very fascinating discussion has to ensue today and that is about Indian diaspora. I hope it's audible to all of you. Good evening, जय हिंद सभी का स्वागत है। आपके सामने कुछ लिखा हुआ है, इसको पढ़िएगा और आप पढ़ेंगे तो आप समझ सकते हैं कि हम क्यों इसकी बात करना चाह रहे हैं। सो व्हेन यू से मां आई एम गोइंग आउट, द अमेरिकन्स वुड से ओके सी यू। You might have in some other countries some other tones coming by. You might even have a bye coming out. But when it happens in India, it happens in a very different flavor. It happens in such a way. Out where? With whom? Why? Who will drop you? When will you come? Every day out. Is this a house or a hotel? How much money will you spend? Oh, no time for parents, only going out. When I die, then you will know. Our Indian diaspora has come of age. And that is to mean, it is not that only in recent years the diaspora has come out. The past immemorial is already there, where the diaspora was already there, and that much of diaspora was there that you would really enjoy whatever we have today. Somewhere or the other, it has an impinging upon whatever there in the past. I welcome you to this session and let me introduce some of the things. So this is Chandramouli in front of you talking about IR through maps, and we are on our Indian diaspora chapter today. Please let me also tell you that the top educators are giving their best here. Take that best and just crack this examination. I hope I am audible to all of you. Okay, and this is my Telegram channel. I think you all have subscribed this. If not, please do so. And this is my Telegram group. Please do subscribe these two things so that whatever update I have to give you, I'll give it via these channels. And I would like to start this day with a very positive thing, and it goes like Chhanaschaiva Kanaschaiva Vidyam Artham Cha Sadhet Chhan Tyago Kuto Vidya Kan Tyago Kuto Dhanam. Use every chhan and every kan to try to take out education, try to take out the kan from it. And once you have it, then you are going to be the best utilizer of whatever things are around you, the efficient utilizer. Let's start the session now, and I bring in front of you a definition which is certainly not going to be asked anywhere. When I say diaspora, what exactly I am speaking? It is said that diaspora is derived from Greek word diasperin, which means dispersion, a sort of migration, moving from one place to another, a dispersion that is happening. So this dispersion that is happening is perhaps one of those ideas that have come about because of necessities of movement and because of today the globalized world, that the diaspora is existing somewhere and trying to help us out. We will understand soon what this diaspora is all about to us. When I say diaspora, it is we living outside. It is we making our impact outside. It is we that have an interconnectedness with this whole world. Moving ahead and discussing about few things. We had a report coming out, Global Migration Report, and you would be surprised to know this Global Migration Report 2020. So that's a 2020 report, but nonetheless you are getting some important ideas. India continues to be the largest country of origin of international migrants. We are the source of this international migration that is happening, and we are topping the charts with 17.5 million strong diaspora across the world. 17.5 million diaspora across the world. 17.5 million, and it received the highest remittances of around $78 billion of that time, of course. And this is our people living outside. Imagine 17.5 million people, your people, Indian people living outside, can make a full country of themselves. They are living out in different parts of the world and how fascinatingly they are trying to play the roles there and for you. This session is dedicated to the Indian diaspora that lives outside, that has been outside and has been trying to help you or help the country in some way or the other. Moving ahead, so diaspora is commonly understood as that group of residents that are NRI or the non-resident Indians, persons of Indian origin and the overseas citizen of India. These two have been merged now. So Indian origin or the Indian people who lives outside. You are of the Indian origin but you live outside, maybe because of business, because of education, because of you doing something there, because of you involved there, etc., etc. A lot of things could be there. These factors have not snatched from you your base, that is the Indian origin, and you are always having in the heartbeats of them India. I present before you the technique and the idea to understand through maps what it is all about. Please see this. You have got the great world and the great country India, and please see from here. This is India, and see the people living in India, outside India, people of India living outside India. Just have a look at these areas. Canada, US. And the blue color shows us that this is the region where more than 10 lakh of Indians are living. More than 10 lakh. That means more than 1 million people. More than 1 million, and I'll come to some smaller figures also. Don't worry on those parts. This West, Canada and US has more than 1 million of Indian population living with them. And more so ever today, it has been increasing. They have gone there maybe for education, for jobs, etc. And they have done so well there that they have already established themselves there. Their progenies are coming up there and they would be very much involved in almost everything there. You look at the parliaments of these countries and you will understand that Indians are so important there. Our issues are taken up in their parliament. What does that mean? What does that mean? We have been so important. So not only there, you see the same 1 million you can see here, UK. So we have that history of they coming to us, and now we have just given them a fear when we say that we can become your prime minister. Now do not say much to us. Okay. South Africa, an old history that we all know of. So when our Mahatma Gandhi ji is going to be there, that is certainly a very important place for us. So this blue color shows that you are going to have a presence of more than 1 million. Let's see the green color. No, not only this. Please see one more thing. Please see one more thing. Jai Hind, Jai Hind. Good evening. So this blue color shows us that 1 million or above is your presence there. You had this, you had this. You had this, you have the Gulf countries. Even in the Gulf countries, West Asia, you are having more than 1 lakh of people living. That is the diaspora living there. Now, I would like to just try to think on few lines and then maybe try to show you something. If you just allow me few moments of yours. Please understand, everything that we can do via maps, it's such a fascinating thing. Okay, so I just wanted to talk about one very important source from here, and that source has sent something to here, had sent something to here. But these two are having different factors of them having the Indian diaspora. The factors remain that of education. The factors remain that of maybe jobs, employment, earning money, etc. We have had around this group where we again have 1 million plus people living, and this is because of our civilizational tie or the history. We also have a great chunk of people living here, and that too again will surpass it. But the problem here is it is not about education there. It is about the jobs that are paying money. I must give you one more factor today, and that is today West Asia has invested too much in their infrastructure. When the infrastructure is booming up, they require more of people as working hands. And today when we see West Asia might be needing more of people, these are majorly in the oil sector, the infrastructure sector. You will not find them into some other sector, but oil, energy and the infrastructure sector. But once done with this, suppose oil already going away in maybe 50 years of time, oil will not be meaning anything to you. Infrastructure, till the time you are developing real estate, fine, but then the infrastructure boom will go away because the people will not be too much, then these people would be rendered jobless. So you are having a very much pull here. This pull is because of lucrative money that are paid to them. I hope I am fine with this. Fine. Did you understand this point? So while these areas are calling maybe for jobs, employment and for a stability that you stay here, it is not the position here. UK, not the position. They are calling them there, maybe the Indians, to stay there, but not for perhaps, not that this will go away and you have to go back then. But this area is struggling in the sense that today it is having infrastructural boost up, but tomorrow it will not have it. And that is the problem. So please see this point also, very important. And now I also welcome you to please see some green color things. You see, in the same Gulf country or so, I'll say that we have Oman there, where we have 0.25 to 1 million people living. The same could be there in this Guyana part. So we are almost everywhere. It's not that only this whatever map I'm showing you, we are almost everywhere, but these are some Chudinda countries, I would say. Okay, then come to the brown part of it. See, Suriname also we have, almost Trinidad, Tobago, will say in those island countries we are there. You see, Thailand, we are there. In Myanmar, we are green. That means around 0.25 to 1 million people that are living there. Then here we have Australia. Please see. So we are already, this Australia means 0.1 to 0.25 million. So in Australia also we are living too much. And then Tanzania, Kenya, Uganda, France, Portugal, we are somewhere around less than 0.1 million. We are less than 0.1 million. There we are less, but then we are there. We are there. Germany, we are there. Japan, we are there. Yellow. So these developed countries, they have been calling us because of various reasons now. Germany has a reason to call us. Japan has a reason to call us. And almost all the European countries have a reason to call us. That reason I think we all can understand well. Let's move ahead and talk about few more things. I want to give you a comparative analysis. 2015 was a time when China had its migrants everywhere, diaspora everywhere, almost. Today also it has. But we have bagged #1 spot. And our #1 spot, if I compare this on the map, you will understand it better. Please see, in United States itself, while the Indians are around 2.25 million, Chinese are 3.46 million. While in Canada we are 1 million, Chinese are 1.35 million. Now imagine for yourself, we are not alone the country that is sending out the diaspora or the diaspora that is there. China had its economic opening up in 1970s, late 1970s. China has a great money power. We only had our opening in 1991, and that too we were all struggling with. By 2000 or so only we are going to have a lot of economic thing being talked about. But Chinese people, no, 1979 onwards, they were opening up real estate, everything they were just opening up. They became an export oriented country, and now they have a lot of money. So they are going out, they are investing. I would like to talk about an insight here. These people, see just this Britain part. There we are 1.5 million and they are only 0.30. They are looking for the avenues where there are people and where their footprints can be lying. They go to US and Canada for a reason, and that is strategic also. But you will never hear of any Canada minister or any member of parliament as Chinese. Huang Huji is the Chinese member of parliament there. You will never hear of them. Nor you will hear for the US, but for Indians you will hear that sir is present, Mr. X from India is present there. but not for Chinese. So what these people are doing there? Your bid is not come. Your 3.4 million in the US, what are you doing there? What are they doing is, they are trying to set up a hard power diplomacy everywhere. These people, when go from India, they are soft power diplomatic relationship makers. But when they go from China, they are hard power diplomatic relationship managers, and no one cares for them then. No one cares for them. And that is really a problem, not for us, but for them, that they don't understand this. I shall come to this part. See West Asia. In West Asia, you will understand, no? We have already occupied a lot of place now. The Chinese don't have to do anything there. Saudi Arabia, we are there. UAE, we are there. Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, Oman, every there. If you see, we are fully making ourselves being present there. The same is true for your South Africa, Mauritius, etc. Then you find Australia, where Chinese are more. So they are looking for soothing life. They are looking for the life which is soothing. There they can have a lot of FDIs being brought in. US, technological development happens. They want their money to be parked there, and hence they are living. The same is true for Australia. But we are there for some different reason. We are not as FDI investors there. We are there working and then setting up our whole soft power diplomacy, and then we stay there. I hope this is clear to you all. I hope this is clear. Now see Russia. In Russia, Indian diaspora, if you go to 1980s or 1990s, we were too much there. We were too many. But now it has come down, and Russia today has more of Chinese as compared to India, and that is also one of the strategic concerns that we have today. Earlier, Russia used to have a lot of medical tourism from India. The people went to do the medical studies there, but now no one goes there except in some rare circumstances, but they don't go there. Also, the situation is such that the Russia and China angle is much more profound now as compared to Russia and India. Hence, people do not trust. There were many people in Ukraine studying medical. Please let me tell you, you might have got this news also. In Ukraine, many people were studying medical studies were going on there, the Indians, and then we had to do evacuation from there. Their all degree wasted. So, in such a turmoil situation in Russia, who would want to go? Is it clear? Okay, let's move ahead and talk about. So, I come to directly a question in mains examination. What is their significance? Varied significance. The first is economic. When you say economic, I am not only giving you economic term, I am giving you some fact also. Please see, 2018-19, they brought us $79 billion. How they bring this is, this person, see, can you see this person? He works in US, earns in dollar, and then he would send back home to India some money. Someone from West Asia working here would send in back money. This is the remittance that they are bringing into the country, to their home, to their place, to their district. And this is the money that is really helping even those parts of the country develop. $79 billion went to $83 billion, went to $87 billion, went to $89 billion, consistently increasing. Consistently. From 79 to 83 to 87 to 89, you have been increasing the remittances. As percentage of the GDP, it is somewhere around 3%, if you say, somewhere around 3%, as per the GDP of that year, around 3%. If I take 21-22 into consideration, not a bad figure. 3% of GDP you are getting as remittances from outside. If you just calculate how many of the Indians pay taxes and take out that percentage, you will be surprised to know. Please let me know, anyone. Please let me know what is our tax to GDP ratio. Please let me know. What is our tax to GDP ratio? I would want to know it from you. Please let me know what is my tax to GDP ratio. Anyone who can let me know. Tax to GDP ratio. Anyone? Tax to GDP ratio, can any one of you let me know what is this tax to GDP ratio? Now, there are people watching this, but you are still afraid of putting a like on this, so that sir जितना भी हिम्मत बनाए खड़े हैं वो खड़े भी ना हो, बैठ जाए, है ना? Less than 10%, yes. less than 10% is your taxation contributing to your GDP. Imagine. Please imagine this. In all this Indian Developmental League, less than 10% is what we are contributing to GDP. Less than 10%. And in that scenario, if 3% is sent by these 20 million outside people who are Indian diaspora, what is the harm to you? It's a great thing happening. Let it happen. It's a great thing happening. And hence, I repeat, these are one of the economic revenue earners for us. This can suffice your many deficits of the budget. And such is the importance of it. See, less than 10%. Remember it in this manner. See, we must always try to conceptualize. A very good idea is you try to make a figure that is very broad one and less than that. 10% very broad one, it was somewhere around 8% or so. So I just remember less than 10%. That is all you have to do. In some reports, it could be 7.5, it could be 6.5. What I have to do with this? No one is going to ask me this question, but my insight is less than 10%. Oh God, less than 10%. Come to the second part, significance. Then there is a political significance of this, as in the sense, we are holding up many such important positions outside. A few days back, UK stomach was too much of problematic. We gave them medicine. We take it. Sunak Sahab was actually on fire and he could have just won the elections. He was very near. Could have been a new chapter, new history being written, and we would have loved that. Perhaps it could not happen, but then it was something very fascinating happening that time. Okay, so many people of Indian origin, they are commanding very top positions. Go to Trinidad, Tobago, someone from people of Indian origin being the president there, and they would be invited to our Republic Day parade. So our people are not sleeping out there. Maybe for the country we don't know that much because it's too much of people, but outside when they are like, yes, we are the boss. Diaspora diplomacy then. We being present there, we are ourselves an ambassador. Our presence there is in the ambassador capacity. You going outside, you take culture, you take idea, you take soft power, you are an ambassador there. So this is the diplomacy that is there. Subject of interest for foreign policy and associated governmental functions or activities. You being outside, the significance is now that country is also thinking for you and your country is also thinking for you. You in India may not be thought that much, but you outside, Indian government have to think about you. That is the importance attributed to your Indian diaspora. National branding. You without even doing anything, you are a national ambassador. You are doing the national branding and you are the treasure of soft power. Accessing technological developments. Okay, you went to some Silicon Valley and you found out that okay, something very nice happening. You came back to India and let them know that see, they are doing this. What are you doing? Nambi effect. What was Nambi effect? That movie is very powerful. We went there, we studied, we got the idea and we came back and now we implemented. That is again a very powerful thing. Spread of our culture. We are the ambassadors of our own tradition and culture and we are spreading it. Again a very important point. Okay. But these significances are not without challenges. There are challenges, of course, I must tell you. The challenge number one is the heterogeneous diaspora, which means that the diaspora of West Asia, has some other demands, as compared to the diaspora of Canada, as compared to the diaspora of Kenya, as compared to the diaspora of Australia. So there is a heterogeneous diaspora existing, and this heterogeneous diaspora cannot be treated with one policy. You will have to manifest your policies into many orders so that these all could be clubbed, or maybe different regions for them, different policies for them. And that is a very challenging thing. So there are heterogeneous diaspora needs. One where cyclone is impacting at one place, war is impacting at one place, they are being evicted out from the jobs. So these are multifarious things. Crime against diaspora. Now, since last 10 years or so, I have read it for the 100 times that when we go outside these countries and the native people of there, they do not enjoy too much with us. Don't know under what garb they are, but they have gone to the extent of killing our people. Whatever notion they have. We have seen a very recent video surfaced where the American woman was shouting against an Indian woman. Imagine what is going on. We never do this. Even after knowing that the West has ruled over us, they have devastated our economy. Even then, we have never hurled any abuses towards them. Even today when they walk in the metro, we never said anything to them. But we going with them, we going standing in front of them, they don't like this. And they have been doing this. Globalization happened, but the behavior never globalized. And that is my mantra I am giving you. Globalization happened, but their behavior never globalized. These people never would understand what globalization would ever mean. They only know the technical meaning of globalization because of their Oxford dictionary. Beyond that, they do not know anything. Left neglected in the crisis times. Now the problem is, suppose Ukraine, a crisis happened there. These people are left neglected. If the Indian government did not respond, these people would not have carried the Indians along with them. So that is a challenge. Our diaspora, when it is outside, it is more vulnerable to such neglect. Returning back when the booming sector has faded. Now, just as I said, the booming sector somewhere could be in West Asia. Imagine the infrastructure. And if they are working there today, maybe few years down the line when they are not working, when the infrastructure sector is not booming up, what they will do? They will return back. So the government must be prepared with a policy to absorb such returnees. Otherwise, हमारे लिए problem होगा. Sometimes negative funding also. Now there's a percentage of people who go outside, they have money. They are now sending back money for some negative things. Politics, stopping of a construction, etc., etc. So a lot of things might happen in this manner. So perhaps the positive parts are there. They are good, doing a lot of good things. But then there are some negative people also who are trying to impact us in various ways, and then presenting before you a common solution for all this, and that is, although we will do the current affairs and we do the schemes, what are the schemes for these people who are living outside, but the way forward could be, actually this diaspora can provide a strategic impulse to any of our policy. So we must not neglect them. It provides a strategic impulse to our policies. We need an NRI policy now. Now this is something, please understand. Today suppose one of you who has been trained, educated in India, has best of the minds, go in US and starts earning there. The government will tax your earning and the government earns because of your earning. That money is used by US, while US did not spend a penny on your education, did not spend anything on your education. We spend it. So NRI policy must be there, and it should have been brought about by a consensus, that if our people are earning outside, they must be taxed, not a problem, but a part of their taxation must come back to the country from where they are coming. This should happen in order to respect the education, the training that we have imparted them, so that they were aware and they went there doing this. Or you add up 10% to the taxation, send it back home. Because we are putting in our resources, we are putting in our money. You got selected in IITs, you studied and then you went outside. You are earning for them. What is the country that you are doing now? What is for the country you are doing now? At least some part of the taxation that the other countries are charging you should be transferred back to the country of your origin. And that would be my proposal and my submission if you would like this. ठीक है. Diaspora evacuation policy. Diaspora evacuation policy must be there. This means what? Diaspora evacuation policy, in any time when we see that maybe the West Asia was troubled, we see Somalia being troubled, we see Ukraine being troubled, and then we send our operations. There must be an evacuation policy and not a knee-jerk reaction. Establishing a welfare fund for the repatriated overseas workers in distress. We must establish a different welfare fund for those people who are outside and they are under distress. So to help them out, we could save some money, send them some money. Negotiating a standard labor export agreements with the host countries. Now this is very important because the people have been going out doing some labor, some work. There must be some agreement between both countries with India so that they could have a standard labor export agreements being done. Monitoring and supervision of both the employment contracts and the conditions of our overseas workers by our missions. So we must monitor and supervise. So these are the way forwards. Supervise of whatever policies that we are doing for them, what other countries are doing for them, we must monitor and supervise, and we must intervene wherever the need be. And launching compulsory insurance schemes, very important. Insurance is very much important, otherwise the people would be going out, something happens to them, the family is already grieving and more to add to the grief. So these are some of the way forwards, although the government is doing a lot for them, somewhat my additions to it, and very notional, these are very logical ones for our way forward. So the question could be, what is the country doing? We will understand in some session of current affairs when you do whatever policies are there. Second, what is the way forward? This is there. What are the security, what are the challenges? We have already seen. What are the significances? We have already seen. And some facts that I have given you. If you have any problem, please let me know. If you have any problem. Out of topic, sir, sound like Akshat Jain. He might sound like me, or why should I sound like him? Okay. So anything, if you have to, let me know. So somewhat different setup today. Since was not that well, I transferred it to here. I'm not sure how do I look like, but I hope it is fine with all of you. Yes. These are also diaspora only. Yes. Okay, so that would be all from my side. And if you have to take any subscription, you know the code is CMC, and have trust in us, have trust in me, I would say, for the time being. Have seen this examination much near and still is seeing this. I would want you to be very much confident with your preparation. Study less, but study that much which are going to hit. So you can take Plus or Iconic, anyone at CMC code, and you can let me know. I'll be honored to be your mentor. If you have to take any combo, GS plus optional, you can go along with this. CMC is my code. Only optional if you have to take, CMC is the code. You can go ahead with only optional subjects. Plus, okay, this was happening. I must also tell you that we have launched this 9 months plus GS subscription for you, and this 9-month plus GS subscription for you is coming in around 45,000 rupees early bird price. You can look for it at CMC code. And the CSAT, a different CSAT block is coming. That means if you only have to prepare CSAT, you can come ahead, join this. CMC is the code, and you can join this CSAT. Ultimate batches are starting very soon, and you can look at these batches. Plus compete in your app itself. Now a compete feature has come where you can compete with each other. So everything will continue, don't worry, everything. I do. Okay. So this compete is happening, and this championship, as I told you, now November 13 we are having this championship where you can win a lot of prizes, scholarship amount, and then you can subscribe. And that would be all from my side. Thank you so much. निरंतरता ही सफलता की कुंजी है, जो निरंतर है वही सफल है, और आप लोग बिल्कुल निरंतर हैं. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का, आपकी एनर्जीज बहुत काम आई. I could not meet you since last few days, but I think my health did not allow. Even today, not that much recovered, but yes, I'm trying to, and will be fine with all your blessings, I suppose. Thank you so much. Take care. Jai Hind. निरंतरता ही सफलता की कुंजी है. Thank you so much. Bye. Take care.